I'm Bill Britten. I am a client director at Maynard Lee Associates, and we are a learning and development consultancy that specializes in helping our clients with the human stuff, really. So it's leadership, it's teamwork, it's communication. We do a lot of presentation skills within that. Well, our philosophy is that the good leaders are the people who have a huge positive impact on the people that they lead. So yes, there's a whole lot of strategic decision making and so on that needs to happen. But actually the real power of a business, I think, still, even in the days of AI, comes from the people and their engagement and their creativity and their energy. And I like to think of leadership really as being about the person that other people look to when there's a problem, not because you have a badge that says leader, but because actually they admire you, they respect you, they trust you. So I suppose for me, the number one quality that marks out a good leader is somebody who makes decisions for the benefit of everybody, not just themselves, but also then is able to carry the team with them, emotional as much as anything else. I think it's something that can be learned, and I think it's something that can be taught. I think all leaders learn as they progress through their careers. And I guess what we're looking to do is accelerate that process. So a lot of the work that we do focuses on helping people connect with what is real and true and meaningful for them in terms of purpose, and then how do they use that to inspire people that they lead, to create really strong personal relationships within their companies, surround themselves with the best people. But it always comes back to those relationships that they create and the integrity of what they do and their capacity to inspire and work with other people. And it is very much about working with the individual. It's like we work very much with the leaders, the individual leaders, rather than any kind of generic program. But actually for those leaders, it's then a question of really understanding the people that they are leading and the effect that they are having. So a lot of the work that we do is based on Daniel Goleman's work around emotional intelligence. That if you understand what's going on for you and you can manage that well, you're much better able to understand what's happening for other people and then manage the relationships. But there's quite a lot of internal work as well as external work. So today's workshop, I'm delighted to say, went really well. Not least of all, everything went to time, exactly as I had planned it, which is not always the case. But it was primarily about addressing people's personal brand. So, I think we get a hit of somebody else as soon as we meet them. Within a few seconds, we have a perception of them, right or wrong. Actually, if you're speaking in public, which is what the focus was today, that personal brand is incredibly important. People engage with you before they engage with your content. So we were looking at some of the techniques that a speaker can use to make sure that, particularly in those first few seconds, they show up the way they want to and they carry the personal brand that they've chosen rather than just being railroaded by, for example, their own nerves. So it's some sort of interesting tension between being authentic and true, but on the other hand, being the best version of that authentic, true self. So that's what the workshop was exploring. Yeah, AI is such an interesting phenomenon because it is an extraordinary tool and it has the potential to do so much good and help everybody be massively more productive. The danger is that everything starts to look generic and uniform and everybody can write a brilliant article about anything they choose just by instructing AI, as long as you know how to prompt it well. But underneath all of that, you are still, I think, for a long time going to have the human connection being the essence of what makes work work. There are boring chores and tasks that need to be done. But where most businesses really thrive, and particularly this kind of business, actually is on the human-to-human stuff. I think it's a long time before my AI agent is having this conversation with your AI agent and we are both somewhere else. What we are doing, having a conversation, I think is going to remain central to the most important areas of life. So yes, AI is an extraordinary tool and I use it all the time and I'm quite a big advocate of its potential. But I also think when you step back, that's not what people retain, that's not what they care about. What they care about actually is human connection. And I think that's the essence of leadership. I don't think an avatar can lead in the way that a really inspiring human being can lead. So I think that human to human thing is going to be very significant, and probably even more so as we all get used to the idea of AI executing everything, and particularly when we're overwhelmed by AI slop. The thing that's come from somebody's heart is probably more potent and more lasting. I use it for research all the time. I mean, for example, if I've got a meeting with somebody I've not met before, I can either spend 2 or 3 hours online researching them and their company and what the challenges are and so on, or I can ask an AI tool, tell me what I need to know before meeting this person. And there it is in 15 seconds. Now, I don't need to go and check it, and I can't just take it for granted. But its ability to look broadly and absorb and regurgitate is absolutely unbelievable. When it comes to writing, it's funny, I think 6 months ago, everything written by AI was just full of management bullshit and meaningless platitudes, things about delivering objectives and achieving outcomes. And I used to have to instruct it very carefully. Please put this in plain English, no management bullshit. And it now does that automatically. But what it means is that everything now looks like that. So in terms of writing, I use it as a prompt for myself. There are some really good phrases that it can come up with, but actually it needs the critical thinking and the intelligence of a bit of experience to reformulate those and put them into something that is representative of what I believe, rather than just a very articulate opinion generated by something with no consciousness.